Here is an ancient and very traditional Japanese toy called Kendama. Ken means sword and tama means a ball, and there's a sword and a ball. The French name is bilboquet. There's that spelling, bilboquet. There are some English versions of this toy, but not so sophisticated as this one. So, as you can see, a ball is hanging from a string attached to this sword, as we say. You see there's a cup here, and the challenge is to just tuck the ball up and then put it in the cup. Now, that's of course very, very difficult to do. So you shouldn't do this in public, because the chances of success are very small. Even if you succeed with a larger cup, you shouldn't try the smaller cup because that's much, much harder to do, of course. Now, if you're a little mad, you say, I noticed that there's some space at the end of this stick. Presumably, that's not designed for play of this kind, but if you're ambitious, you might try and miraculously succeed. There's a place where you can rest, so surely I will not be able to do this, but once in 10 years or so, I might succeed. But what is demonstrably impossible is, you see there's a hole at the bottom of the ball, is to tug this up and then make it land on the stick. And it's impossible because, you see, when I tug it up, the ball starts going in all sorts of orientations. And what are the chances that when it lands, the hole is pointing straight down? It's very, very unlikely and very, very improbable. But there's a trick for this. There's a grand principle in physics that permeates all parts of the universe called the conservation of angular momentum. That means that any body spinning, once it gets spinning, has a tendency to keep spinning exactly the same way unless disturbed by external influences, not only at the same spin, at the same angular speed, but also around the same axis. So we can begin by spinning the thing. And you see that when I tug it up, you saw that it keeps straight up because this axis of spin is vertical, and by the conservation of angular momentum, once it gets spinning, it always keeps the same axis. So if I spin this and try, what seems impossible becomes possible. You should contrast this with when I don't spin and how much harder and difficult it becomes. I can do it anyway. Okay. I can reverse the role of the sword and the ball. I can hold the ball and then swing it and try to make the sword come into the ball. This never works.
Hang on, go on.
Okay,
Oh!
great, excellent.
I don't know.
We should film this. Okay.
All right. Yep. Okay. There are other cups though.
But even